This is Trey Passer. As I said before in my episode 2 review, I'm going to review episode 3 now. Uh, this one, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to do this little intro, and then you're going to see my original video that the beginning part of it that I did the reaction to, and then you'll see, then there'll be a jump, and then you'll see my first impression, and then I'll come back with my full review of the Titans episode 3 with spoilers. Okay, so on to that. Let's go. Hi, this is Trey Passer. Now we're going to react to episode 3 of Titans. Okay, and let's get right to it. This series is picking up steam, so let's get right into it. Okay, let's begin. Okay, that is the Doom Patrol. Anyway, yeah. So this episode was again another good episode. Now we finally get more of the Titans coming together. At least we have all 4 of them in that same episode, and now you have some Starfire and Dick integration. Now we found out, of course, the Dove that died. She's badly hurt, but she's not dead. Okay, so I think we're leaving those characters behind for a little bit, and now we're focusing on they found the convent that Rachel came from, and they returned her to that. And then of course Dick, he caught up with them, and Starfire, and Starfire still doesn't know who she is, but she found another key, and then went to the storage room, and then she found out, I guess, that she's some sort of detective, and she was been looking for Rachel for a while and stuff, and they looked through it, read through it, her and Dick, who she stole his car, and found that that she's been looking for around, that she's the destroyer of worlds, and of course the nuns lock her up for her own safety, but her evil part comes out to help her escape, and she's on the run basically. And of course the Psycho family, they get another chance. Okay, and they're supposed to get another father figure, so we catch up with them again. But it looks like the next episode, we're going to get the Doom Patrol, which I'm looking forward to. And they're going to have their own series. From that little bit that you saw in that little sneak preview there, they look really good. I'm looking forward to Doom Patrol. And they're going to have their own series on the DC streaming service, which I'm looking forward to. But again, this show's a lot better than I thought. Again, Starfire's costume, that's the problem. And I thought they were doing bargain basement type of thing with this, but this show is actually well written and well acted, actually. So this is actually a really good show. Again, which goes to show you don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, things actually are a lot better on this show than I thought. Thought going in. I thought they were being cheap with the money and stuff, but it looks like they're actually investing in the right story. Hi, welcome to my full review of episode 3 of Titans, called Origins. In this episode, if you remember the last episode 2, it ended with basically with a nuclear family taking Raven and going to wherever they were going to go. And of course, Dove got hurt. And this episode opens with her, of course, in the hospital, and Hawk by her side, and Dick, feeling regretful about what happened. And he basically, makes Hawk a promise. He says, "Listen, I'm going to get them." And he goes off in search of finding the nuclear family and getting Rachel back. Okay, and we see this nuclear family as it opens up. They're traveling down the road, and they're to the sound of excuse me, a Brady Bunch song, which is absolutely hilarious. But anyway, they have to stop for gas and go to the restroom, actually, and that's when we encounter Starfire, who wasn't in episode 2 at all, or Garfield, but she shows up here, and she has, if you remember from episode 1. She has a photo with Raven's picture on it, and it has in the back of it. It has the academy, the nun, I guess the nunnery, I guess that's what you call it, where she apparently was born, and she's on her way there when she encounters Raven and the nuclear family, and she basically, goes to, retrieve her to find out if she can tell her who she is, because she doesn't remember. So when she doesn't remember past a few days, and she doesn't remember who she is really. All she knows is that she was apparently looking for Raven, and she goes to grab her, and then of course the father of the group tries to stop her, and she literally fries him and turns into a crispy critter and makes off in the car with Raven tagging along. And of course Raven's trying to find out who she is, and Starfire explains that her name's Corey Andrews, and she can't remember past a few days, but all she knows is that she was looking for her, apparently, and she was, she shows her the photo of her mom and her as a baby, with the nuns at the academy, and they said that they're on their way there. But apparently, oh yeah, I forgot something else. There was something in the beginning part when Starfire was actually traced back. She traced back to the house where Rachel grew up, and that's when she found the photo, of her mother at the convent and stuff. And she beat up a few police officers and made her way out. And then, of course, hooked up with Raven. And then, of course, Dick finds this out from his colleagues, and so he's on his way. He has he's on his way to track them down. And he actually, on their way there, they stop at an arcade, okay, to get something to eat. And that's when Raven, when she's playing a video pinball machine, she actually runs into, and we see our second glimpse of Garfield, aka Beast Boy. He sees her playing the game, the pinball machine, and he comes up to her and kind of encourages and tells her how to play and stuff. And they both remark that they like each other's hair, and they do a little mild flirting, okay. And then of course Dick happens to, and also as he's driving to find Rachel, we see flashbacks of him, when he first got delivered to Bruce, and Bruce tried to adopt him, and how he ran away and how he didn't exactly want to stay there at first and stuff. And we get a little background on his again, we don't of course see Bruce at all because you just see him in the shadows in the background, but you do see a lot of young Dick, trying to assimilate, or not trying to assimilate at first, okay. And we see him even joyriding and stealing a car from Bruce and stuff. And then of course we get back to the present where Dick happens to track them down to the arcade, where he basically tells Raven, listen, I'm here to help you. And she said, well, listen, and asked Corey, who was she? And and they, after a few awkward introductions, they all three make their way to the academy where she was born. And while they're there, that they have a helpful nun who explains to them how she came to be there and how she got adopted. And meanwhile, and she feels that Raven feels that she should stay there, and this might be the place that can protect her from the evil that she had within her. Okay, and so she stays there. And meanwhile, Starfire steals Dick's car, and she actually because she has a key that she found in her purse to a storage facility, which she goes to, and then she finds another key to that, which she goes to again. And of course, she opens it up and she basically sees all of her research, and it looks like she's some sort of detective because she has all this background information all over the storage place about Raven and stuff, and how she's the destroyer of worlds and all this stuff, and how she's going to track her down and all this stuff. And then of course Dick, he has a tracer in his car, so he tracks her down, and he sees all the materials that she has on Raven and stuff, and asking, why is she doing, it? She said, well, she tells him that she can't remember past, but apparently Raven is this great evil, and she's meant to track her down for whatever reason. And then we go back to the convent where the nun actually, where Raven's actually having a hard time, and her evil self is in the mirror telling her to get out, and the nuns actually come to her and actually they lock her up basically in a room and tell her, listen, this is for the best, that you have to contain your evil, okay. And they leave her locked up, and of course she wants to get out, but she can't get out until her evil persona basically takes over and literally blows a hole in the convent and in the side wall, and sets it on fire, parts of it on fire, and you see her basically running off, okay. And then of course Dick and Starfire, they see the smoke even from the far distance that they are, and they know that it's the convent, and they make their way there. And that's how the episode ends, with her going, with them coming back and her, running off, and that's how it ends. And this episode was pretty good because you got more of Dick's background of how when he first went with Bruce and stuff, and how he didn't really want to stay there, and how he thought he could, he saw him stealing the car, and just basically his origin, okay. And again, and you get a little bit of Starfire, more of her background, because you find out now that she found that storage place, that she's some sort of detective apparently that was looking for Raven for whatever reason. She doesn't know who hired her or whatever, okay. And there you go. So this episode, Origins, you get more of Dick's background, and you see again more, I guess, of Raven's background too, of her origin as well, because you get to find out where that she was born there, and so and that was where she was with her mother and stuff, and that's where she was, she was born, and so you get more of her background as well. But this episode was pretty good, and I'm just looking forward to the next episode, because that episode is going to be the Doom Patrol, okay, which is more of Garfield's background. So you get to see, so you'll get an episode, I think, with him more, fully in it, because he just had a sort of a cameo where he actually got to see, he got to flirt with Raven a little bit, and he actually got to see all the other 3 Titans, or soon-to-be Titans, together. Okay, and so that's how this episode ends. So anyway, let me know what you think of Titans Episode 3. If you've seen it, what do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below, and if you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. I have links to my Facebook, my Twitter, my my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, excuse me, I forgot what I was saying. And my Instagram in the description box, as well as a link to my other channel, Paul's Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long, and take care.